What's up guys, it's Roger, and today I'll be teaching you how to use your Blink Warlock in Trials of Osiris on Wormhaven. Now Wormhaven is a pretty good map to use with our Blink, has pretty high ceilings in most parts of the map. There's some little hallways and whatnot that we can kind of cover how to use your Blink better in those. In fact, I have a Blink map guide if you want to check out that video that really breaks down this map and exactly how to use your Blink the best on it. But today we're going to be showing how to use our Blink good on this map, sure, but with this specific build that we're using today. So why don't we go ahead and just start breaking that build down. Bringing back an absolute classic today, we have the Igneous Hammer, a 120 RPM hand cannon. Now 120s haven't been the biggest in the meta for a while, but when they were, you can bet that the Igneous Hammer was a top dog. I always love this thing so much, and I have a pretty darn good roll here. Why don't we go ahead and check it out? I have Hammerforged Rifling, Light Mag, Quick Draw, and Elemental Capacitor. Of course, we are on Void Lock, so we have increased stability. I think that's a plus 20 stability bump, and you can see the stability on this thing is pretty solid. Quick Draw lets me whip this thing out really quick. I usually pair this with a Quick Draw shotgun, so then both my weapons have Quick Draw. Today, my shotgun does not have Quick Draw, which we'll get into that very soon, but it still works very well. Speaking of my shotgun, I am using this Reach Walker right here. I consider this a god roll. It's pretty darn good. I have rifled barrel, accurized rounds, firmly planted, and iron reach. I would like quick draw iron reach, but firmly planted is actually extremely solid. Put a ranged masterwork on there. You can see this thing has 95 range. This thing can absolutely map, and with all the buffs coming to shotguns very soon, we're going to get some buffs to them with their AE changes and their sliding changes. I think lightweight shotguns are about to become top dogs. You can go ahead and check out the armor here if you want. I am just using an Astrocyte Burst because I do want to kind of just sweat a little bit, try hard as much as I can. And when I want to do that, I go ahead and opt in for the Astrocyte Burst. Plus that extra blink distance is kind of necessary for some of these strategies I want to show you today. Breaking down our Void 3.0 here, I do have on a Nova Bomb, Healing Rift, Blink of course, Pocket Singularity, and then Suppressor Nades. Now I don't usually use Suppressor Nades, but on cap point weekends, it's actually better than any other time. Of course, anytime they are very good, but on cap point weekends, you have a bunch of bubbles and wells, and when you can just chuck a Suppressor Nade in there when they're on top of the point, I mean, kind of just shuts them down really well, and a lot of people aren't running Void right now. So you're going to be one of the only people in the game that's going to have these Suppressor Nades, because the other thing you see, I mean, you see a lot of invis hunters, but they don't usually run Suppressor Nades, so these things are a dime a dozen right now, honestly, so it's nice to have them. After that, for our aspects, we do have Feed the Void, so we can get Devour here, that's 2 fragment slots. Then we have Child of the Old Gods, which we know on my channel, Clarence. Clarence also gives us 2 fragment slots. For those fragments, we do have Echo of Dilation and Echo of Persistence. I always use these two. This is going to make our Devour go from 10 seconds to 15 seconds, and this is going to let us get that very in-tune radar, so we can pick apart exactly where our enemies are, and make sure we can aggress upon them in the smartest way possible. After that, we do have Echo of Expulsion, so if we kill somebody with an ability, they're going to explode 1 extra time, maybe grab a second kill for us, you never know. And last but not least, Echo of Domineering. So after you suppress a target, you gain greatly increased mobility for a short duration, and your equipped weapon is reloaded from reserves. Some pretty good stuff right there, and this can come in handy quite a bit, not to mention it does add 10 discipline to your stats, which is very helpful. So as you can see, a pretty simple, straightforward build here, honestly just focusing on gun skill and being very aggressive with a shotgun for the most part, but put a lot of emphasis onto the hand cannon you'll see in today's plays. I hit some pretty nice shots, had some nice plays with this hand cannon, and I'm definitely feeling it right now. This thing feels very good. If you have any questions, go ahead, leave those in the comments, or join the Blinkville Discord server. That's going to be in the top right, or in the description. You can go ahead and join there, make some Blink Warlock and Blink Hunter friends. I'd love to see ya. All that being said, I think we have everything covered, so why don't we go ahead and blink on into this gameplay. Now, as always, I am starting with my very first play of the day here. I like to show you my very first play of the day so I can show you my very exact thought process as I was starting throughout the day. As you can see here, this is my very typical play. I throw the nade up and I follow that up with a blink straight into hallway. Now, you can get different angles on that blink and go farther into hallway, and that's kind of what I was telling you with your Astrocyte Burst. With your Astrocyte, you have enough blink distance that you can actually fly about halfway down that entire hallway and get right on top of where enemies usually sit, if not behind them, depending on how far up they're pushed. So keep that in mind. If you're doing Hunter Blink, you can go watch my video from yesterday to see that. You can still use a aggressive blink into this hallway like I was doing in this play, but you need to be a little more careful. Now you can see there I'm being very aggressive, taking them out with my shotgun. Later on in the day, I started getting warmed up more with the Igneous Hammer, but when it comes to the beginning in the day, for me to get warmed up, what I like to do is kind of do a mixture of close and range plays, just take as many fights as I can to get my aim warmed up and really just get myself online. And that's what I'm doing here. Take some aggressive shots and then go in with my shotgun and take this guy out. You can see I missed a shot there, but that's okay. Fling him back with the Pocket Singularity, take a nice snipe with my shotgun there, which is kind of funny, but but you know, it is true, and then take him out pretty easily. Again, throwing up the suppressor there, didn't get any ticks on it, so I was like, I don't think I want to follow that up. Flick over to my left because I saw this guy on my radar. 3 taps easily takes him out. Now we gotta remember, these are 120s. All it takes is 2 headshots and a body to kill somebody outright. That is a very powerful thing when you're talking about this meta, where there's pretty fast TTKs, and these things can have a pretty quick TTK from a long distance away. Now, especially with the fact that pulse rifles are going to be getting nerfed here soon, 120s might get better in the overall meta. You have to kind of be thinking ahead of things like that when you see these TWAPs come out and you see, oh, okay, pulses have been ruling the meta for a while now, this very far back, sit in the back of the map playstyle. Now things might change a little. If something like pulses gets nerfed, which is such a far back playstyle, what are people going to default to next? Well, they probably don't want to go too far off of that far back playstyle. So what they're going to do is look for the next type of weapon that has that kind of far back playstyle. And 120s are something that can sit pretty far back, but can also do pretty well in mid-range engagements. When you find a weapon class like this that has really good benefits from close and medium and almost most far ranges, that's something that can do very well in most metas. And I would honestly just tell you guys, get some good 120s, have them ready to go in your dim, you know, keep them leveled up, because I think that they'll have a place pretty solidly here very soon in the meta. Now you can see here I'm taking some aggressive blinks mixed in with some good Igneous Hammer shots, taking these guys out. Flying in here, we are down 2 rounds. I see the cap point is on the inside of the map. When the cap point is on the inside of the map, I usually like to come in where I am right here with a door and take some angles up top like I did on that guy. Now I have the first pick, I'm looking around, I see on my radar, this guy's in front of me to my right, boom, take him out, nice 3 headshots. Flick onto this guy, unfortunately I didn't check my radar before I pushed out there, and that was my mistake, and unfortunately we almost lost the round because of that. My teammate does eventually clean up here, which is pretty nice. Now I will tell you, I was liking these domineering suppressor nades a lot. The nice thing about domineering is it will reload your entire mag when you can actually get it suppressed on somebody. So that's pretty nice. You can take some shots at somebody with your Igneous Hammer, throw in the suppressor nade, maybe take another shot with your Igneous, and then reload the entire magazine. Of course, the thing with these 120s is they don't have the biggest mag size. You can see here, only 8 bullets. Now, of course, that can kill an entire enemy team, or I guess, no, I guess it could kill 2 people, right? And then you'd be out 2 more bullets. You need an extra bullet, but you know, I could almost do it. Actually, if you have charge with light, you'll see later in this game, if you get charged with light, you can do 100 to the head with this Igneous Hammer, and I was smacking later on in this gameplay. I'll tell you when I get there, but this is a good round to show off this Igneous Hammer. Boom, 2 taps to the head, this guy flies in, tap to the head, tap to the body, Clarence finishes him off. Beautiful stuff. Throw out that suppressor there just in case the last guy flies in to help his teammate, but he doesn't. I had 3 bullets left in the mag, and that was perfectly enough to take the shots on that guy and finish their entire team off. Once I started getting into the swing of this 120 hand cannon with this Igneous Hammer, I was really feeling it. Now, I was telling you earlier, I do have Igneous Hammer with this elemental capacitor. That, of course, is going to give me that extra stability boost, and that stability boost on this Igneous Hammer feels absolutely incredible. Even when people were trying to flinch me, I do have 2 times unflinching hand cannon on, and 2 times, you know, aim down the head mod, whatever it's called, with this hand cannons. So I have a lot of mods helping me, but just as well, the elemental capacitor was making it absolutely amazing. You can see right there, that was about an optimal range to actually get those maximum damage taps to the head, and I gotta say, it feels really good. Once I started figuring out again, oh yeah, these 120s can hit from very far away, I started taking advantage of it as much as I could. Now you see there, unfortunately, I didn't really get anything on that suppressor nade. That's fine. What do? I go ahead and I reset. Now, this is a 4-4 match, so I have to be very careful. This is what I'm talking about when I get charged with light, though. When I get charged with light, I have that extra damage from high energy fire. Watch this. 100 damage to the head there, 63 to the body. He was almost dead from those 2 shots. Push this guy back, take some shots on him, almost kill him. Want to chase him out with a shotgun, but instead I just fire one into his head, almost kill him. I'm out of bullets, so I throw my Nova Bomb there last second, clutch up the entire match for my teammates. I'm sure they were hooting and hollering on their side of the map, because, I guess their side of the underworld, because they kind of got sent to hell there, didn't they? But you can tell I was doing pretty good and starting to feel myself quite a bit. Now, I gotta say, I hope the changes that they do to the Crucible here actually make some players come back into trials and whatnot, especially as these DMT, crutchers and these Titans crutchers kind of die down. Hopefully the Arc Titan crutching also dies down. There is a lot of crutching you can do in the Crucible right now, and it's very painful. It's making trials a living hell, and I'm excited for it to kind of be changed up, and hopefully these people actually start, finding some fun builds that they can actually enjoy themselves with instead of just using this overpowered stuff, because it really does ruin everything. And I know there's not much integrity disparity when it comes to the players of this community. It's unfortunate, but it is hard facts. And maybe that's not even true with a broader community, but with the tryhard community that is really sticking themselves into Trials right now, you're going to find a lot of people with just not much dignity sticking to these really, really scummy playstyles, like this Osteostriga here, you know? Tell me you have no skill. Ooh, I got to say right there. I just got a collateral shot with my Igneous Hammer there. I didn't know that was possible. I guess I never really thought about it. But boom, that Igneous Hammer shot was beautiful. I didn't even notice it until I was watching the clip back and I was like, wait, that was one bullet. I just knocked both of their heads off of their bodies, clean off with one bullet. Absolutely beautiful play there. I may make that one a YouTube short or something, baby. I gotta show that off to the masses because that was beauty. You can see here, I was getting my taps on point pretty solidly by this point in the night and feeling myself quite a bit, but I was getting some very not good teammates, so that was kind of painful to try to play around my best I could. Throwing up the suppressor nade there, just so I could make sure the enemies didn't push me while I got the sword ammo. There's your obligatory sword play for the day, and I actually think I have one more sword play here in the next clip for you guys, so I hope you enjoy that. I know you like seeing the cool blink sword plays here, so I'll get one more for you here. You can see Heavy's coming up. When Heavy is coming up, make sure you're doing your best to actually go ahead and cover that the best you can. You can use your suppressor nades and your Clarence to get control of the map and wrangle yourself those kind of choke points of the map away from the enemy, so you can go ahead and pick up the Heavy very easily. You can see they didn't even challenge here. I said, that's your mistake, I'm going to make you regret that. 2 taps there, smacks that guy off, take the sword out, slash forward twice, and then go into a heavy attack. That heavy attack is going to have a little bit of extra range, as well as it's going to actually slice upwards. That let me carry myself straight into that last guy and take him out with some beautiful plays there with the sword. So I hope you guys are happy. I know you like those sword plays, so there you go. You know, go in the comments and say, I love the sword plays, Roger. I mean, I do too, I gotta be honest with you. I don't really like Heavy, but the sword with the eager edge is one of those things that I can always use with Heavy and feel pretty good about myself, because you can do some really fun things, and honestly they've nerfed the sword enough to where it's not really even like that crazy strong in my opinion. I think it's just a really fun heavy weapon. Now this enemy team absolutely sucked. They were the smallest shrimp PP boys I have ever seen, and I was happy to smack their bow pieces around as much as I could. 2 of them were on bows, one on a Wishender and one on a Lemon, and you better believe they had some Oath Keepers on that as well. They were absolutely cringy, and I was just sick of them, so when I was able to just smack their cheek holes like this round, I was really happy about that. But man, I hate cringy playstyles like this. Like, oh, if you don't want to play the game, then don't play the game, or just keep it in quick play or something, because man, I want to have some fun, like hand cannon fights. You know, if you're on like pulse rifle and I can challenge you with a 120, you know, you're on a sniper and I can take my chances challenging you, that can be really fun. But when it's just like this kid here and I can't even push him because he can just like look through walls and then fire off some stinky little bow shots, I'm just like, ugh, get out of my face. Blinking onto the point here, you can see I threw out my suppressor nade there just in case it could land at the door and suppress somebody, keep them off my cheeks as I flew in. You can see though, these bow kids, you know, no match for the Igneous Hammer. When I had my shots on point there, we were actually knocking them down. We did win that match as far as I can recall, but it was a very boring final round, so I didn't clip it for you guys. Throwing in the nade there, see if I can follow that up. You can see it does suppress him. We have Domineering, smack that guy real easily. Flying forward, blink one more time, bonk my head onto the doorway there so I can get myself to the ground really quickly, smack him, 2 hip fire shots, fire those guys off perfectly, and you can see by that point in the night, I was getting kind of annoyed because I was getting the worst teammates in all of existence. I don't know what it is with these solos getting on my team right now, but I swear to God, they don't have brain cells. I think they were actually these stalactites on some sort of like primordial, like oozing era cave, and they just like boop, dripped off. Is it stalagmites that's on top or stalactites that's on top? I think it's stalactites are top and stalagmites are bottom. Yeah, I actually don't know, but I guess I gotta look that up. Either way, you know, the point suffice it, teammates are stinky. And these enemies were actually absolute losers. They bagged at the end of the match just to get Daddy's attention. And I was like, you guys are really sad. They were just crutching so hard. Of course, you can see here 1 Bubble Boy and 2 Thunder Crash Titans using as much as they can before it gets nerfed, and then they just have to go cry and play the next overpowered thing. But my teammates at the end of this match, I had 13 kills. Each of them had 4. I was able to win 3 rounds. I'm going to show all those to you right here. And also clutched up 1 round with a tie. It was just very painful trying to play around these teammates and doing my best to carry them. And it's just... it is what it is. I mean, you know, the 1v3s make for some nice clips, so I'll take it. Get a nice suppressor nade on this guy. I think that was the one that bagged at the end. He was just an absolute little stinky boy. It might have actually been this Larry guy. I don't know. Either way, Daddy whipped his cheeks and spanked his bottom, and then, you know, had to change his diaper after because these kids were shitting their pants with how hard I was smacking them. I gotta say, they're just kind of hiding, running around. I couldn't remember if we had any hunters on our team. I was like, is that their smoke bomb or ours? But this guy's just running away. You can see I blink onto his friend here, smack him pretty easily with a blink shotgun play, fall down below here so I can get away from this guy, let my teammate come up behind him, and then smack him with the teammate, easily take them out. And this last play I'm going to have against these guys real here is the clutch up where I do manage to tie the round. You're going to see I get my super, they have their bubble, they have a thunder crash, and my teammates just aren't going to get their supers because they're not slaying out. And I'm pretty sure they didn't even have good intellect, so it's just like, you know, this is what I'm saying. I mean, if you're 7 rounds into a game and you don't have your super, you're doing something wrong. What I was doing here was trying to get a good angle where I could blink up and get a good Nova Bomb on this guy. I will say he had a very good shoulder charge there to get himself out of the way, but unfortunately he didn't realize that I could smack his asshole with a nice little shotgun melee, smack his friend too, and unfortunately I was out of bullets. So what do? I throw the Domineering suppressor grenade down at my feet, bonk it off of him, it's going to land on my feet, I punch him once, and then it kills him. That was the best I could do to really supply myself with that round tie, and take it to where I could actually try to fight them even more. But again, they still had supers, they had a bubble, so at that point there was really nothing I could do about it, but I tried my best and had some pretty nice rounds there. You can see here, I couldn't really see through that fire that much to actually hit his hitbox, but I was able to get some good shots here, smack him down, pull out the shotgun really quickly, and rattle his buddy off as well, fly towards the last guy as quickly as I can after checking my radar, and luckily my teammates do take him out there pretty easily, so I was like, good job boys, you actually held up your end of the bargain by, taking out the last guy for me. I really do appreciate that. I do want to say I hope you guys are enjoying the video. If you are, you want to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, or hit that notification bell so you can see more in the future. I would really appreciate that. I'm going to have as much Trials content coming to you with the sweet little plays like that 1v2 right there as I can. Actually, let's just make it a 1v3. You know what? Why not? Papa Roger will go ahead and take out the entire enemy team for my boys, and they can come in and shoot some bullets at me because they know that I am a hot Mambo Zombie. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I love making the Trials content, even though Trials can be quite a pain, especially when I get to play with some of my friends or my Puffer people, which will be tomorrow's video. It's just a really fun time. I do want to say, I am going to make a new membership tier. My current membership is only $4.99, and if you do that, there's a lot of perks. You can click the join button below this video to check that out, but I think I'm going to make a new tier that's just going to be 99 cents. So if you just want to support me in the rawest way, there are not going to be very many perks, probably just like membership badges each month and the emotes you can use in comments, and then probably early access videos if you would like that. So if you're interested in that stuff, go ahead and check the join button below this video, and maybe you can go ahead and support the channel that way. I'll talk about it more soon, but that is it for me today. So as always, have a great day, Guardians.